What I'm doing is these are aspirins. If you are planting, and I've got gypsum because I'm doing tomatoes today, but if you are planting plants, my experiences with peppers, onions, and tomatoes, and like cucumbers. With the tomatoes, the cucumbers, and the peppers, my understanding is there is no harm to put aspirin in there. When you are transplanting it, or let's say they get knocked over, anything that's going to disturb or maybe traumatize the plants are alive, aspirin will help them. Now, this here is somewhere between like a gallon or a gallon and a half. For every gallon, 1 aspirin should not be a problem. For every 2 gallons, aspirin should not be a problem. 1 aspirin. If you get up to like 3 or 4 or 5, you could even probably put 2 aspirins in, and I'm pretty sure it will have no bad effect. If you are doing tomatoes or cucumbers, they need, I believe it's calcium. You get that from gypsum. And yeah, it's essential calcium. Cucumbers need them, and with tomatoes, if they do not have enough calcium, you'll get what they call end blossom rot. The bottom of it will go black and look like it's rotten, and generally that is just a lack of calcium. So if you are doing cucumbers or tomatoes, you are going to want to get some gypsum. You can also get a liquid calcium additive that it absorbs faster, but you can get smaller bags like this. You can get a giant 40-pound bag of gypsum dirt cheap, and you just want to add a little bit of gypsum. I use about a handful, like a half a handful every week and a half. And you just want to add that to your tomatoes. You want to add it to your cucumbers. I got the hiccups bad. All right. Now, the plants that we are doing right now, and I'm going to put 2 of them into these. Now, these things here say they are a 5-gallon tub, and I am going to call bullshit on that. Here's my hand. I think this is a 3-gallon tub, but it is it's a container. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try them this year. I don't know if these are going to be big enough. I am not going to put the cherry tomatoes in. I'm going to put those right in the ground unless I get some bigger containers. But I will try the determinate tomatoes in here. I'm going to set this down. But here's the dirt. There's my early girls. If you like a meaty tomato, early girls are good. Celebrities are another one. You've got your big boy, your better boy. There's a whole bunch of beefsteak tomatoes. I'm not saying this is a beefsteak, but it is a solid tomato. It is not very runny. And the thing with the early girl, if you plant it, is it is one of the fastest ripening tomatoes. They're not as big, but you will get them faster. That's why I'm planting these first. And then about next week or the week after, I am going to go ahead and plant some of these in the ground too. And then that way these will come ripe, and then a week or 2 later the other ones. But these are a good tomato to actually get early. Okay, I don't really have a stand or anything. So, okay, now I'm digging out the area. And it says so right on one of these. You want to plant... Let's see, I don't know if you can read this or not. I can't really see because of the glare of the sun. But dependable large harvest early in the season, disease resistant, matures in 52 to 62 days, transplant so that leaves are 1 inch above soil level. Keep well watered. Okay, now what you want to do here, I'm doing my best to actually let you see this. I literally, with the sunlight, I am having trouble seeing what's in here. But what you want to do is you want to dig this out, and you want to get this thing pretty well down there. And the bigger this is, because all of this stem here, when it gets wet, it's going to sprout roots. The other thing you want to do is you want to break them off clean. Okay? But all of these, because what will happen is if you bury these, and the aspirin will help with this. If you bury these, what's going to happen is these are gonna rot. I gotta set this down. I need another hand. Okay. Those, if you bury them, instead of picking them off, but just don't rip them and shred the stem like pulling a string from a sweater. But any of those you bury, they're gonna rot in there, and that will actually slow the growth of the plant. Okay, so what you want to do, and I'm going to set this down, but you can see what I'm doing. I'm digging this out, and I'm going to get it down to where there's about this much of the plant. So like almost 2 knuckles. There's going to be about 2 knuckles of this sticking up. The rest of it's going to be buried, and then I'm going to push all that dirt back in. So here, that's actually about right. That's pretty close right there. And then down the road, I'm leaving enough room, and you do not have to do this, but I'm leaving enough room, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some wood mulch in here, and the wood mulch will help maintain the water in here. This whole thing should let water out if it gets flooded, but the wood mulch will keep the dirt, and I don't have any right now, but the wood mulch will keep this thing, actually, yeah, because it's going to come up here. That's about 1 inch. That's about what you want. And then what's going to happen is the stakes that I'm going to put in, I'm actually not going to put in here, because on a container like this, if it was a 5-gallon bucket, you can do it, as long as it don't tip over. But these things here, the cloth has give, and I put these in last year, and I had trouble with when they got windy. It was blowing them over. I'm going to actually, this is small enough, so this part of it will work good. I'm going to put the stakes in the ground, and so they will have the strength of the ground to hold them, and I'm just going to tie these up to it. And then we're going to go ahead. I'm going to edit a lot of this out later. And see, I got to add a little more dirt to this. Definitely got to add dirt to the next one. And I'm trying to bury this based on where the dirt and the wood chips are going to be, because that's what I needed to do. But I got this one planted, and I will label these later. I need labeled for right now, but I'm going to try and remember that early girl, and then I got a better boy or a big boy. It's a beefsteak. So I'm gonna let that sit there. I'm gonna find something to. This one's gonna be the better boy. That's the one, and I'm also gonna do lettuce today. Okay, it's basically the same thing. I will read it. There's the sticker. I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Vigorous vines yield tasty tomatoes with excellent disease resistance. Matures in 70 to 75 days. Transplant that leaves 1 inch above soil. So it's pretty much the same thing. Now these here, if I had a bigger container, if you were putting them in the ground, you could bury these puppies at least 6 inches in the dirt. If you look at them, you could bury these at least 6 inches in the dirt. Okay, I'm gonna explain what I did, but it's basically gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and take one out. I'm gonna trim it, and the one thing is I'm gonna take this. Couple of these are wilted. I'm gonna take this big one that's got the. So I'm gonna have to remove that tag. I'm gonna take that big one out because a couple of these were wilted. I forgot to get them out. I'm gonna water them, and hopefully they will be doing better tomorrow. If not, I'm gonna take this. This little one right in front of me, otherwise, because these two are kind of wilted, and I'm going to wait and see if they recover. I might leave them out. The only thing I'm afraid of is I think animals might get to them, so I might have to put them back, and I just got to remember to get up and put them outside tomorrow. That'll work. I think I zoomed in on accident. If you look, you can see the roots all over it. That's going to expand once it gets more dirt to grow. The container will end up looking like this at the end of the season. And then I've got 2 of these on here. I'm going to clip this one off. My finger's wiggling right now because I don't need both of those. And then, but I'm going to strip it, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this in. I'm going to do my best to edit this out later. Bear with me. Okay, but I got that one clipped off. So you can see I'm doing that to these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and, I don't know if I'm going to do it every week, but like as I'm planting, I will try and do one of these for everything I plant. But I crimp that off, strip that down. I've just got the basic plant. And the other thing, it seems to work for me. As much as I can, I'm going to do what they call a single stem approach to planting these. For me, it seems like it gives them more air, gives them more light, and it should help prevent, I don't know if it's like mold or fungus, but you can actually get things that'll make the leaves go brown, and I'm doing my level best to prevent that. But I got that. Now the thing I got to do now is I'm